All right, welcome. Today we are diving deep into one of the Bible's most incredible stories, Genesis chapter 24. And let me tell you, this is more than just a story, it's an epic quest. We're talking about a sacred promise, a huge test of character, and a love story that gets set in motion by one of the most amazing acts of kindness you'll ever hear about. So let me start by asking you this. How far would you really travel to keep a promise? I mean, for someone you truly, deeply care about. 100 miles? 1,000? The journey we're about to follow is just immense, and it all kicks off with a single, incredibly serious vow. Our story begins with Abraham. Just picture him for a second. He's old now, his face like a roadmap of all the long journeys and deep faith he's lived through. God has been keeping his promises to him, but there's one last crucial piece of the puzzle missing. To make sure his family line continues, he has to find the right wife for his son, Isaac. So, to get this mission started, Abraham calls for his oldest, most trusted servant. And this is no simple request, you guys. This is a setup for the most serious oath you can imagine. You can just feel the weight in the air, the absolute gravity of the moment as Abraham speaks. The stakes could not be higher. Okay, so this whole swearing on the thigh thing, it probably sounds a little strange to us today, right? But you have to understand, in the ancient world, this was it. This was the most binding promise you could possibly make. It was like saying, I swear on my own family and on every single generation that will come after me that I will get this done. There was no backing out. This was for keeps. The mission itself has two really important parts. First, the servant has to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles, all the way back to the land where Abraham grew up. And second, and this part is a non-negotiable rule, he must find a wife for Isaac from their own relatives, not from the local Canaanite people. The future of an entire nation really is resting on this one journey. And the servant, he accepts. He takes the oath. And with that promise sealed, he sets off on this long, dusty journey. And listen, this isn't just him hopping on a camel. This is a full-on expedition. So just imagine this scene with me. A whole caravan of 10 camels, loaded down with precious gifts and supplies, finally arrives. The sun is hanging low in the sky, painting everything in these long orange shadows. You can probably hear the tired groans of the camels, the smell of dust, and the distant murmur of the city. The servant stops his caravan at the town well, the central hub of daily life, because he knows this is it. This is where his mission will either succeed or fail. Now, the servant doesn't just leave this up to luck. No way. He prays to God for a very, very specific, almost impossible sign. See, he isn't just looking for someone beautiful. He's testing for character. He's asking God to show him a woman with a heart that is just full of this amazing quality called Chesed, this radical, active, loving kindness. He's thinking, will the right woman just do what's asked, or will she reveal a heart of absolutely incredible generosity? And what happens next is, well, it's just breathtaking. I mean, before the servant can even finish his prayer, a young woman named Rebekah comes up to the well. And yeah, she's beautiful, and she fills her jar with water. This is it, the moment of truth. He goes up to her and asks for a drink, and right away she says yes. But then she says the exact words from his prayer, I will draw water for your camels also. Now, let's just pause here and really think about what that means. We are not talking about watering a little dog. We're talking about 10 enormous, exhausted, incredibly thirsty camels. To really get the scale of what she just offered, you have to know this. A single camel that's just crossed a desert can drink a bathtub's worth of water. No joke. So Rebekah, without even a second of hesitation, has just volunteered for a really, really difficult and physically demanding job. That means she, by herself, drew, carried, and poured up to 250 gallons of water for a total stranger's animals. This isn't just being polite, this is Chesed in action. This is radical, over-the-top, mind-blowing generosity. This is the sign. And it's clearer than he ever could have possibly imagined. The servant is just stunned. He's speechless. He just watches her as she hurries back and forth, again and again, from the well to the trough. He knows, without a single shred of doubt, that God has guided his every step and led him directly to the right person. He is literally witnessing a miracle of perfect timing. So once the camels are finally done drinking, the servant's gratitude just overflows. He immediately gives her these expensive gifts, a gold nose ring and 2 heavy gold bracelets. And these aren't a payment, okay? They're a sign of honor. And only then does he ask who she is. And when he finds out she is from Abraham's own family, he just bows his head and worships God right then and there. Rebekah rushes home to tell her family everything that just happened. Her brother, Laban, runs out to meet the servant and invites him into their home. After they've all eaten, the servant tells them the entire story. From the very beginning, the oath with Abraham, it's immediate. They see God's hand in it so clearly that they know they have no say in the matter at all. The very next morning, the servant is ready to go. He's anxious to get back to his master. But Rebekah's family, they ask for him to wait, at least 10 days. The servant insists, though, that he has to leave now. So they all decide to leave the final, massive decision up to the one person whose life is about to change forever. They call Rebekah in and they ask her this simple, life-altering question. Just try and put yourself in her shoes for a second. Will you leave everything you've ever known, your home, your family, your friends, to travel to a land you've never been to marry a man you've never even seen, all based on this one wild story? And her answer is just 2 simple words. But they are just packed with so much faith and courage. She says, I will go. That's it. No hesitation, no doubt. She says yes to her destiny. What an incredible moment of strength. So Rebekah and her nurse leave with the servant's caravan. And as they're making that long journey back, another part of the story is unfolding hundreds of miles away. Isaac, who has been grieving the death of his mother, Sarah, is out walking in the fields as evening approaches, just meditating. And this, right here, is the emotional heart of the whole chapter. Isaac looks up, and he sees the camels approaching in the distance. And at the same time, Rebekah looks up, and she sees him. The story tells us that he brings her into his mother's, Sarah's, tent, which is a huge sign of honor and acceptance. And then it says he loved her, and in that love, he was finally comforted after his mother's death. Her arrival literally heals a deep wound in his heart. This entire incredible story is powered by one amazing character trait. It's a Hebrew idea called Chesed, and it means so much more than just being nice. It's an active, loyal, loving kindness that sees a need and then goes way, way above and beyond to meet it. It's exactly what the servant was praying for, and it's exactly what Rebekah showed at the well. So the big question is, how can we bring this idea of Chesed into our own lives? Well, here's a little challenge for all of us this week to improve our own character. When someone asks you to do a small favor, do something extra they didn't ask for. Try to see a need before you're even asked. Maybe help a parent who looks tired or a friend who's struggling. When you share something, offer the best part. And when someone is talking to you, put your phone down and really, truly listen. It's in these small, generous acts that we get to live out the amazing spirit of this story. Let's end with this thought. The servant was looking for a sign of kindness, and that sign turned out to be Rebekah. So the question for you is, what sign of kindness can you be for someone else this week? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.